We are continuing our discussions on happiness, on how to be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Easier said than done. There's an old Israeli song that's called Yeladim ze simcha. Kids is a joy. If you understand the meaning of the song, the words in it, you understand that it was really a slogan for mainly the Sephardim to repopulate Israel. Taviu shlosha, taviu arba, taviu chamisha yeladim. Bring 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right, and so on and so forth. Haaretz tzricha, right, the land needs harbe yeladim tzeirim, many young kids. Taviu tresar, bring 12, right? However, it's not always the truth, or it's not really accurate. What I can tell you is accurate, first of all, is what we do here, and what we tell you the truth is what we do here. And in order to continue what we're doing here, of course, it will help us a lot if you give us a donation. So you can go to our website, check us out. There's some pictures there from our Achnasat Sefer Torah. There's a small thing on the left side. It's to donate through PayPal, or if you have any questions, you can do so at rabbigaon@gmail.com. Our Yeshiva website is yeshiva.etzion.com. We also have a YouTube account, right? The YouTube account, which you can get some of the very old lectures that we had. Not all of them are videos. Very interesting stuff there, if I do say so myself. Anyway, so let's go back to happiness. Which is another gate. Kids is another gate for happiness, if we see. If you really look at it, sometimes kids would become an obstacle. I know what you're going to tell me now. Oh, we have to bring kids and so on and so forth. Blah, blah, the whole entire... I know. Listen, I myself, Beli and I have 7 kids, but that's not the issue right now. We're trying to talk about the correlation, if there is any, between children and being happy. One needs to understand and remember all the time that bringing kids to the world is not a sport, right? And it's not a entry to a club that you do so. If you look at this, from let's call it from a humanistic/secular whatever perspective, mainly for women, kids could become an obstacle in developing their career. A woman's place is in the pots at home and stirring up the pots and cleaning up. I know Neil Young said a man needs a maid. The man needs a wife and the wife needs a life. Yes, let's stop here. It affects her career. Let's say, for example, she's a very successful woman. She's a, I don't know, what could a woman, let's say a psychologist or a speech therapist or occupational therapist or an accountant or a doctor or computer pro, whatever she wants to be. If she has kids at home, most likely she's the one who would stay home, take care of the kids. Again, which I don't really understand. Why? I mean, we are not living in Taliban town, or in downtown Tehran. Sorry, Persians. So but you know what I'm saying? I mean, if, for example, a wife has better chances to bring more money home, and she's okay with that, and let's say, argument's sake, she's a, say what? I don't know. Doctor. So why she should stay home and let the husband bring, I don't know what, $40,000 when she can go out and she can bring $200,000. So he take care of the kids. What, does it make you less of a man? But usually it doesn't happen. Of course, unless if you're marrying a doctor. If you're marrying a doctor, you already made this in mind that she's going to take care of you, etc., etc., which is a very bad thing, and that's going to be a different series. After my surgery, we're going to talk about the shidduch non-crisis that became a crisis. Again, there's no such thing as a shidduch crisis. So children can affect your career, and if the children would put a halt on your career, mainly the wife's career, and so on and so forth, so you see right away the children are not an equation for happiness. They're not. Sometimes children would affect the relationship between the husband and wife. It'll put too much pressure on them to handle. Again, and this is all from experience, the things that I've seen. A wife has, 5 kids at home. She keeps on popping them like popcorn, 18 months apart, boom, another child, boom, another child, boom, another child. Yeah, some people are ideologically motivated and so on and so, but some people cannot take it. And all of a sudden, she comes home, she's stressed out as a rubber band. The husband comes home and she says, I can't take it. She says, what do you mean you can't take it? I came from work. She says, I think they... Problem. Many times it happens. Again, kids is not a sport. So the first thing is, before you have kids, is you got to think. In other words, assess your situation and look at many other components that are there. For example, why do you want to have kids, and so on and so forth. You need to make sure that you're not having kids for the wrong reasons. What will be the wrong reasons? I'll give you, for example, the mistake that people may think, that they think that kids are usually a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Kids are not necessarily a pleasure. And it's okay that kids are not a pleasure, because a person who is expecting to derive pleasure all the time from his children is doomed to be disappointed. It's okay not to have pleasure from your kids all the time. Oh, but if that's what you're looking for, you'll have a problem. I know somebody, a couple, very, very nice couple, very educated. Both people are educated, right, Michael? Very educated. However, they got married very young. She was 18, he was 20 when they got married. And not that the age had to do with it, sometimes it does have to do with it, but they just were operating on different frequencies. So they start to have problems. So they went for an advice from someone, and he told them to have a baby. That's right. Have a baby. It's going to be okay. The baby will fix it all up. Well, so they got very excited. Okay, we got a task ahead of us. No, let's go, darling. Let's go have a baby. They had a baby. No, everybody, mazal tov, kol sason, v'kol simcha, b'siman tov ben balanu, be'amav yavo hagoel, and the song, and everybody's excitement. Okay, so they feeling a little happy. And say, hey, you see, it works. Happy, 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 happy. Yofi, yofi. Everybody's excited. 9 months of ecstasy, and so on and so forth. And then the baby comes out. Baby is out. Brit milah, pidyon haben. Yeah. No, that was a Sephardi song. And then he goes, boom, it falls down. Like anything else. Rabotai, let me tell you something. If they did a survey for people who won the lottery in the United States. You know how long their peak of euphoria lasted? Less than a year. You get used to everything. Get less than a year. So this case, their relationship went boom, down again. All of a sudden, there is a baby. You got to get up at night. All the festivals around the baby had expired and came to an end. And now you got to get up at night. You got to change the diaper. You got to do this. You got to help her. Whoa! Now things became a little bit of a problem. The problems start to come up again. You never solve the problem. You just put a rubber band on it. And then another kid. And then 4 kids came to this world as a result of, you having problems? Solution is to have a baby. So 4 kids came to this world, and guess what? Now they are living apart. They're separated. They're not divorced because of social pressure, but they're separate. He has his own place, she has his own place, and I can tell you that the kids are messed up. Kids are not going to solve your problems. You have to be very careful. So it's okay to think, assess your situation before you have a kid. Consult a rabbinical authority, and consult one who's going to be, a smart person, who is not going to be, no questions asked, and a person who's going to evaluate you and your spouse as who you are right now, and will give you the psak halacha, the appropriate psak halacha, according to the place in which you are standing. This is not a dogma. Everybody across the board do it like that. It's not the case. That's a different issue also altogether. So we need to look at this. Another thing you have to consider into mind when you're dealing with kids or having kids or bringing kids and so on and so forth is, as you know, it's a little different than a pleasure. Kids do bring happiness. They might not bring pleasure, but they do bring happiness to this world, or to you, or at least to most of us, and so on and so forth. However, the result that kids bring happiness, and not necessarily pleasure, happiness to this world is mainly because of a different rule, which we're going to put here, implement here, or talk about here, which is maybe the most fundamental rule to remember when it comes to a situation like this. If you have pleasure, that's an equation. Pleasure plus meaning, pleasure plus meaning equals happiness. Does not mean that happiness, that pleasure and meaning are equal. On the contrary, we need to understand that meaning is the bulk, is about 90% of that equation. So it's going to be 90 plus 10. 90 being meaning, 10% being pleasure, equals happiness. So if there's no meaning in bringing kids to this world, you're not going to bring, those kids are not going to bring happiness, or you're not going to experience happiness in this world. That's why people who are motivated because of ideals, whether it's to bring more kids to this world, doing a mitzvah, and so on and so forth, tend to have more happiness from the kids than people who don't. The kids just happened. There was no meaning. That's why people who struggle for the kid sometimes have more happiness with this child than a kid that was, just came because they can, appreciation. There's meaning behind that. So if you want to help your child later on to be also a happy person, make sure that he serves as some kind of a meaning to you, not only by being there even before that, but bringing him to this world. That's why it has to be a meaningful relationship as well. So if you go, God forbid, you meet a girl somewhere and she decides to get pregnant from you. Of course, you guys will never do that, but it happens like this. So because she wanted to use you as a resource, so the kid would not have any meaning besides its own selfishness needs of the mother. That's why it's very, very difficult. In certain circles in our country, it's very difficult when kids don't have a meaning. Sometimes it's just like a mere accident. Or there's no relation. That's why the family cell and the relationship between the parents that they give love as a result of the meaning that they had in that act of bringing the kid to this world, and later on when the kid comes to this world, is very, very important and crucial to the well-development and the total happiness of that family cell, being the father, the mother, and the child. And I don't care, listen, what you do in your bedroom, you do in your bedroom, not my business. But I tell you that, a child needs a father and he needs a mother. He needs a loving father and he needs a loving mother. You could see it from kids who face the trauma of having a parent removed out of their lives, whether it's to death or through circumstances. A kid that did not have a motherly figure, a home and love in his life that the mother gives, was always going to look to, or would look for this mother in his life later on, and he would therefore look for women who would serve as a mother to him rather than a wife to him. And the other way around. And we need to understand that. And so again, if we're going to go to the most important line of this conversation, is the equation of which we refer to, that meaning plus pleasure equals happiness, where meaning is the most important ingredient. It's 90% of your happiness is connected to meaning in your life. Meaning and happiness. 10% of that is pleasure. Have a great day.